thank you for joining me. The fire on Moor near Halifax is now 3/4 of a mile wide and in its 4th day. The fire is the latest in a series of moorland fires across the country during the driest April in hundreds of years. Now, it's the second time in the last 10 days that specialist fire crews have tackled the fire at Ovenden Moor, with other blazes in the last month at Rishworth and Marsden Moor. Now, the National Trust described that fire as the worst in a decade. Now, these fires aren't restricted to West Yorkshire. There were 2 significant moorland fires in the Peak District over the weekend, including one at Torside, which threatened the very popular walking area of Bleaklow Moor. And in North Yorkshire, crews dealt with a number of moorland fires over the weekend, the most serious at Cliffridge Wood near Great Ayton, which, at its height, spread to a length of 400 metres. Now, in a moment, we'll hear how the National Park authorities remain on high alert. But first, let's go live to our reporter Charlotte Deeming at Ovenden Moor. Charlotte.
Yes, good evening. For 4 long days, the fires have been burning on the moors here, high above Halifax. Now, the air really has been thick with smoke all day. It clings to the back of your throat and really does sting your eyes. So you can imagine how difficult it is for these firefighters who are spending hours and hours right in the thick of it, trying to tackle this blaze in these dry and windy weather conditions. On the moors above Wenstalls, it's a battle between man and Mother Nature. As firefighters use beaters to put out the flames, more fires then appear, thriving on the bone-dry land which hasn't seen rain in weeks.
What we really need to do is concentrate on stopping that fire jumping over that road.
Coordinating this operation is tough. The fire service has had to deal with about 150 separate incidents across an area which is more than a kilometre wide.
While we were actually dealing with this Sunday fire, we actually witnessed 3 children set fire to the woods in Ogden, and the fire raced up the hill. And that was really the fire that you're looking at now, is the 2 fires that have merged into one huge fire.
The scale of this problem means it's being tackled from the air as well as the ground. Tons of water from the nearby Ogden Reservoir have been dumped on pockets of fire throughout the day. We're just travelling over the moor now, and you really can smell the smoke from those flames. It really is pungent even inside the helicopter. But West Yorkshire Fire Service do believe that they are now starting to get this fire well and truly under control. That said, there's still a huge amount of work to do here. The fire front has been extinguished, but deep-seated peat fires are burning across the moor, and they can last for days. However, this is a fire service that's geared up for wildfires. They're using specially trained officers and equipment at this incident so that fire appliances are still available to deal with emergencies elsewhere in the county.
We brought online 3 specialist wildfire units, and they're strategically placed in the Pennines part of West Yorkshire. We have 1 at Keighley, 1 at Tottenham and 1 at Holmfirth. And it's a Land Rover comprising of a fire spotter, and it also has a trailer comprising of lightweight firefighting equipment, which is ideally suited for on the moor.
This ruggedly beautiful landscape is being ravaged by fire. Whilst the cause is still being investigated, the cost to wildlife and vegetation is expected to be huge. So that's the situation here, but elsewhere in our region, the threat from those countryside fires is also a very big concern. In South Yorkshire, the Peak District, down there, they're back on fire alert, and in North Yorkshire, they've been renewing their appeals to visitors to the area to please act responsibly. Michelle Lyons has this report.
Heat distorts the landscape. Although clouds hang heavily in the sky, there's been no substantial rainfall on the North York moors for weeks, creating the perfect conditions for wildfires. Park rangers put up notices warning people of the dangers, but still some people ignore the message. It's thoughtless littering like this which can destroy the landscape for many years.
There are areas in Bransdale that were on fire in the 1930s and still haven't recovered yet, because buried in that deep peat layer is the natural seed bank. So the fires will take the surface vegetation, but then it destroys that seed bank, so there's nothing to follow on.
Sleeping on the dry bracken, blissfully unaware of the potential dangers, these young lambs roam wild on the North York moors. They're able to outrun a moorland fire, but smaller animals are at risk.
They're at a critical time when birds are hatching now. It's devastating to other wildlife as well. There's lots of adders and lizards about at the moment which may struggle to get out of the way.
In the past week, fire crews have dealt with 2 large moorland fires in North Yorkshire. Volunteers are now working alongside park rangers, scouring the landscape to try and prevent any further incidents.
Well, here in Halifax, just been speaking to the wildfire officer in charge of the incident tonight. He says that the fire crews will stay here till 9 o'clock tonight. They'll then be back here straight away tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. before the sun gets a chance to really come out. But they say this operation could last for many days. This fire is very strong and it's showing no signs of being under control yet. And they are renewing that warning. Anyone who is walking or visiting this area, please use your common sense. They don't know the cause of this yet. They are still investigating what caused this blaze, but as I say, this operation will be going on for a few days yet. Back to you.
Charlotte, thank you very much.
Now, huge congratulations to Doncaster's Sarah Stevenson. This morning in South Korea, she won a gold medal in the Taekwondo World Championships.
The victory has been particularly hard fought. Since January, both her parents have both been diagnosed with cancer, and instead of focusing on competitions, Sarah spent most of this year looking after them. Here's Olivia.